All right. So let's start by strengthening the neck and then giving it a release. So I'm only taking my legs wide so you can see my head, holding the head, and let's just gently press into the hand, just so you feel the muscles engage. So enough, you don't need to add much force at all to strengthen, engage the muscles. So we're just going side to side for now. So definitely no force. There should be nothing like the pain, just that engagement. And then side to side. So we're strengthening the muscles on the sides here. The muscles find it much easier then to lengthen and relax if we are really mindfully engaging them. So especially because the neck is an area where we tend to hold a lot of tension. Let's just get our focus into those muscles of the neck. Once more, side to side, light pressure, emphasize that, only a little bit of pressure into the hand, just enough to feel that engagement. And then forwards and backwards, so lightly leaning into your hand, forwards and backwards. Here, if we go slowly enough, mindfully enough, maybe even closing your eyes, you'll feel those deep muscles in your throat engage. Nice soft jaw here. And from here, we're going to go one more round. We'll go into neck rolls, but drop the shoulders. Let's shrug them out, soften the jaw, and then let's take the head in a circle. We're not going to our edge. We're just almost letting the head loll around, soft jaw all the way around. Let's do the second one in this direction, and we'll change direction. So we're looking for heavy shoulders. A nice gentle sway with the shoulders to support the neck, and we're in the other direction. And little crackles, oh, pretty usual, but if we work on those muscles contracting, then lengthening, and then resting, we're going to put the muscles in a nice healthy position. All right, the shoulders. So let's roll the shoulders. Internal rotation of the arm. Lift up to the ears. Stretch up to the diagonal walls. Turn the palms to face upwards. Open the chest, yawn if you need to, and then reach all the way to the floor. Fingers reaching behind you, getting that stretch into the triceps. Chin to chest, round forwards. Internal rotation. Lift. Breathe in, stretch open wide as you breathe out, shoulders back and down. Twice more. Deep breath in, making the movement a little bit bigger each time. Chest open wide, wide wingspan here. Free up the neck. And last time, you can bend the knees, take a bigger movement in the arms, spread the fingers, find space like you're in a big open field and you've got loads of space to move, and then shrug out. Keep the legs wide or widen them if they're not already. We're taking the arms by the sides of the body, reach the ribs and the upper body over to the left, and then taking that side bend. Now hit an open twist, turning the chest up to the ceiling, closed twist, looking behind you, find the ankle, and then brush the hands across the floor and wiggle those arms back to the center. Over to the other side. So reaching as though we're going to take a triangle, reach up and overhead, chest open wide, chest towards the floor, find that opposite ankle, bow the head and skim the floor. So we're going side to side. Over to the left, overhead. Take that twist for the spine, deep stretch of the back of the legs. You can give the knees a little bend there. And then the same to the right. Open wide, stretch in two directions here. Overhead, a little twist to look over your shoulder. So we're going to have one more set so you can maybe go a little bit deeper. Reaching as far as you can, something just beyond the fingertips. Overhead, turning to look over your shoulder. Across the floor, ready for the last side. Reach overhead, chest to the floor, and come all the way up to standing. One last thing with the legs open wide, bend the knees, and then turn, let's straighten the right leg, toes pointing up, that Cossack kind of side to side movement. Foot down, turn the toes. A few times each side. Then we'll take a wide leg fold. So hands on the hips or the crease at the tops of the legs, toes pointing forwards or slightly out. Long breath in, breathing out, coming into a fold. We'll continue flexing the spine till the crown of the head's towards the floor. You can interlock the forearms. We're pausing for a moment here, letting the blood rush into the head, releasing any tension in the lower back, finding some length in the backs of the legs. Into a squat, fingertips to the floor. We can open the feet a little bit more and bend the knees. Maybe it's just a little pulse here. Maybe you can take the hands to the floor and take the knees side to side. So getting into the hips, and then we're rolling up through the spine, straighten the legs, from the base of the spine up, rolling all the way up. At the top, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's have one hula hoop at the hips in each direction before we move on. One in this direction and then take it the other way. And then we're coming hip distance with the feet. So one more twist for the spine, feet pointing forwards. We're going to scoop the arms up and lift up through the heels. Try and find some tone in the abs, reaching the hands overhead. Now as we breathe out, hips are going to stay forwards. We'll lower the heels and we open the chest out to the side wall. So twist to work this hip forwards so that the hips are square to the front. We come center and we take it to the other side. So find your balance, find that slight pelvic tilt, engagement in the core, big toes pressing down, breath out, heels lower, and open the chest. If we come into this position with the palms facing upwards, we'll keep the chest open wide. Let's have 2 more rounds. If we can, work with the breath, breathing in to lift up. Remember, press down through the balls of the feet, and then floating the heels down, shoulders down. Reach through the palms. Other side, shoulders relax. Arms are slightly in front of the body. We're not straining to keep them by the ears. Reaching open wide, maybe looking behind you now. Last set. Breathe in and reach. Reach for the tallest you can be, breathing out into your twist, work those hips forwards, look over your shoulder with a soft jaw, and last side. Breathe in and reach. Big toes down, inner thighs engaged, breathing out our last twist. Look all the way over your shoulder, so the hips are square to the front, and we're looking over our shoulder, reaching into the fingertips. So we're doing a full twist along the spine and then come center, just shrug out and take the head side to side. Great, so we're going to take a roll down and roll up through the spine, and then we're ready for a sun salutation. But it's only 1 round, but very loaded. Chin to chest, and let's find heaviness into the head, the shoulders, the arms. You can close your eyes here. We've only got 1 round of rolling down. So start to find that tone in the abdominal wall. And feel a release, feel sensations down the back of the body. Taking your time, legs straight but knees off lock. Try not to look at anything in particular. We want the head to be a dead weight. And we come into a forward fold. Let's bend one knee and sink into the opposite hip. And the other side. Before we roll up through the spine, rebuilding from the base up, 1 vertebra at a time, take your time, and at the top, roll the shoulders back and down. Brilliant. Because most of the sun salutations are going to be a little bit low, I'm going to take this down a notch. You're fine not having my head on you. All right, let's come to the front of your squat. So it's only 1 round, so don't worry if it feels like there's a lot going on. Toes pointing forwards, a little gentle pelvic tilt, palms facing forwards, chin nodded into the neck. Take a deep breath in, stretch up and overhead, look up. Breathing out, pressing the air down, coming to our forward fold. Hold the shins around the ankles, the backs of the knees, wherever the hands fall. Let's take that halfway lift, pressing into the shins or fingertips to the floor to lengthen the spine. We're stepping the right foot back, lowering the knee and taking a crescent. Sweep those arms up, parallel arms, but still slightly in front of the head. Sinking down into the hip, reaching up. Lowering the hands, we're coming to all fours. Take a cat-cow, breathe in, up to cow pose, and breathe out into your arching cat. We're extending the right leg out behind, and we're drawing 10 circles, 5 in one direction, 5 in the other. Now let's try and stabilize the core. Think about how we hold ourselves in a plank, and let's circle for 5, 4, hips level, 3, 2, 1, the other direction, 5, 4, 3, neck long, 2, 1. That active leg, we're hooking the knee in front of the other, cow face pose, but we're moving continuously. So the feet separate, hands slightly in front of the body, and we'll breathe out, sinking back towards the heels, and we'll breathe in to lift. So the feet separate so that gradually the hips will get closer to the floor. Now we're moving continuously. We've got 3 more of these. The breath out, just finding that lovely release in the hip that we've been working with those circles. So after the next one, we're going to step back to a down dog. I told you that there's a lot in one round of sun salutations. Loaded it with about 5 other movements. So reposition the hands, the knees, tuck the toes, and we'll meet in a down dog. So let's take a moment to feel the shape. So the knees can be soft initially, so you can work on lengthening the spine. So wiggle the hips and find length in the sides of the body, along the spine. Now let's find some drawing together of those front ribs, navel to spine, and this will oblige the shoulder blades to open slightly. There's so many exercises where we're squeezing the shoulder blades together. This is a tone in the front of the body, so supporting through the ribs and the navel. Once we have that length in the spine, we can start to pedal through the feet and find length in the backs of the legs. And now we can start to extend in all directions. Sit bones riding up the wall behind you, engaging through 10 fingers, the other side knuckles, the heels of the hands, ribs coming together. Great. Think warrior 1, warrior 2. Soften your knees as you lift the heels. And we're stepping the right foot to the front. Lower your back heel, 45-degree angle. So a little bit of an opening there. We'll lift the arms and come to a warrior 1 arms. Hip square to the front, knee pointing forwards. Now the knee that's in front, the corresponding arm, look at that hand. Take a breath in here. And as you breathe out, open to warrior 2, your back heel comes in line behind the toes. We've now got a 90-degree angle between the front foot and the back foot. We're toggling between those two. So lift onto the back ball of the foot so the hips can come square to the front again. We're back to warrior 1. So to work on your balance, you may want to try this of keeping your gaze on that front hand. But there's a lot going on here. We're isolating the movement to the back leg and the upper body as the hips open. We're having to adjust the back heel so that we can square the hips up to the front. So only add on that element of balance with the gaze if you've got everything else with confidence. So I've got 3 more here. Breathe in. So feel some energy into that front shin, the back leg straight, the breath out, opening the hips to the side, arms open wide. So the arms, keeping them slightly in front of the body. All the actions that we take with the arms are all in front of the body. So it's a very unnatural position to hold and squeeze into the ears. Let's finish this round. From a warrior 1, let's tap the hands down, lift your back heel and step to the front. Take a moment to hug the knees, chest and thigh together. Shake out the head. Start to straighten the legs into those forearms. Open the arms wide, a big breath in, stretch overhead, breathe till the hands meet, and breathe out to heart center. We'll do the same, but leading with the left leg. Breathe in and open wide, breathing out and folding. Take that halfway lift, so we're lengthening the spine, trying to look like we're on the edge of a lake, trying to look in. We're stepping back to a crescent, left foot steps back, lower the knee, swoop the arms by the sides of the body and sink the hips forwards and down, reach into the fingertips. Here, don't worry too much if the knee goes slightly over the ankle, as long as it's not going far, far over, we're not going to strain the knee. So thinking ahead, we've got one round of cat-cow and then hip circles with the left leg. Hands to the floor, find your fours, and let's breathe in, drawing the chest forward. Feel that pulling action to lengthen through the chest, and then the breath out, pushing the floor away. Not just through the hands, through the knees, the shins, the tops of the feet. Lift the navel, drop the head to the chin. And then we come to a flat back. So we're onto the left leg now. Try and find a little bit of flattening of the lower back, lengthen the neck, extend the left leg, and we stabilize. So I'm placing a tray of tea on your back, no spillage. We're going 5 in this direction, 4, 3. Try and keep the front shoulder over the wrist. 3, 2, 1, and the other way. Breathing steadily through the nose. Don't worry if your circles are a little bit slower. That's even better. We're going for mindful movement. Last one, and then we take that cow face position. So that knee that we've been working the hip, step in front of your other knee on the floor, separate the feet. And we've got 5 rounds of breathing out, lowering the hips back. Breathing in to come forward. So it's almost like a cow face, cat-cow. So because we're not lingering, we're not forcing ourselves to the edge, you're just sitting back long enough to get a nice stretch in the hip we've been working. And yet we're still working, moving continuously with the breath. So it's still that cardio element of the sun salutations. Make the next our last, and then we'll meet in down dog. And again, we'll pause there. I like to focus on lengthening the spine first and then the backs of the legs. So let's set up from all fours. We tuck the toes, lift the hips and send them back. So let's soften the knees and really press away from the floor, swaying the hips so there's a stretch right into the armpits. And then straighten the legs. See if you can get one heel towards the floor on the floor and maybe put more weight into that leg, lengthen the spine before going to the other leg. Can give us a slightly deeper, satisfying stretch in the calf muscle just by pausing a little bit and allowing a little bit more weight to go into that leg. Okay, thinking ahead, we're stepping forwards with the left foot to warrior 1. Soften the knees and lift the heels. Look forwards, crouching low. You can step or help the left foot to the front, the back heel, 45-degree angle. So slightly open at the back so the hips are square to the front. Let's stretch up to warrior 1. Try and feel that stretch in the hip of the back leg. Now, the back heel, come up onto the ball of the foot. Draw your heel in so we have front heel to back arch connection and open the arms. Try and, if we can get both arms parallel to the floor, great. So shoulders are down, and here we're squeezing the shoulder blades together slightly. Slight tilt in the tailbone. And working through the back heel, sending the heel back to return to warrior 1. And warrior 2. So again, we're going for maybe 5 or 6 rounds, depending on the speed you're going. Better to go slowly and feel the position, feel that vertical line in the body, feel how the back knee is always working with the direction of the toes. So supporting the knee, working on the stabilizing muscles of the knee and the ankle, really mindfully. You're working on your balance. It's the middle finger of the front hand. We keep our gaze there. Challenging or concentration that little bit more deeply. Shoulders back and down, reach wide to the fingers. And then let's tap the fingers down, lift the back heel. We're stepping to the front of the mat. Holding the backs of the knees, nose to the knees, chest on the thighs, a really tight squeeze here. And then trying to stretch the legs so you've got the support, reassurance of the forearms around the backs of the knees. And then we're standing tall. Open the arms wide in that reverse swan dive, reaching the arms overhead. Take a deep breath in. And we return to heart center. You can take a recovery breath there, take a moment, and then we're coming down to the mat and we'll meet on our tummies. So we're coming to spider tip, cobra, press ups. So on the floor, on your belly, fingers pretty much in line with the shoulders, forehead to the floor, legs straight and long. Tilt the pelvis, pubic bone into the floor. Shoulders down. Now press into the fingertips and lengthen. So we're lifting a little bit, but think length through to the top of the head. Feel the work around the shoulder blades and with control lowering down. Let's go for 5 rounds of lifting. Squeeze the glutes, lengthen the legs. Notice the chin stays tucked in towards the neck. So we keep a nice long line in the back of the neck. All the time going for length over height. So each time we lower down to the mat, maybe we feel that we're creeping a little bit closer to the front edge of the mat. Brilliant. Let's make the next our last. Shoulders down, rising up. And then we're coming into more of a traditional position for the arms. Arms out in front with a gentle bend in the elbows. Spread the fingers, point the toes, and we're going to try and push into the floor, shoulders down, and draw the elbows up into that straight line. So it's a different movement. You may feel this more in your triceps now, but shoulders down. What we don't want is lifting the elbows and spoiling that line in the neck. It's toning the arms, so you're pushing down through the hands and lengthening through to the toes. Maybe now the legs can float up. So again, continuous movement, the chin can drop to the chest, and then we lengthen, like there's a long line from the crown of the head to the toes. Feeling a little bit of warmth coming to the shoulders, the arms. I can feel my arm muscles working. Pressing down strongly through the hands, the heels of the hands, shoulders down, neck really long, point the toes, glutes working hard here. Try to take any back bend out of this by pressing the pubic bone into the floor, almost trying to lift the navel. Last one here, and then we're going to take a child pose. Last one, let's squeeze the glutes, press into the floor, shoulders down, some connection between the shoulder blades, feel that tone coming in the arms. And then let's take a child pose. Hands under the shoulders, press back, heels and hips together. Have a little rock side to side. Okay, we're going for leg raises, and then we'll take it into spine stretch, roll back, roll up. So let's start with the feet out in front of us, hands on the knees, and let's slowly find our way back to the floor. We're going to go for 5 leg raises on each leg. Hands on the floor. If you're a spine archer and you find it hard to get that pelvic tilt, hold the edges of your mat. We'll breathe in and lift the right leg, and we'll breathe out and lower. So we're going to go for 5 on this leg, and then we'll switch. Chin's tucked into the chest. The backs of the shoulders are into the floor. So what we want to avoid is getting that effort through the shoulders. Let's focus on drawing the front ribs together, navel to spine, and almost like a drawbridge, those abdominal muscles, reeling the leg up. We have 2 more on this side. You're doing well, nearly there. So let's have 1 more on this leg. So there's only a very minimal curve in the spine, the natural curve of the spine. So we're not trying to achieve a flat back. Switch legs. So let's breathe with the movement, slow, steady breath. Please try to avoid flinging the arm up. We should be able to just breathe at any moment. So we're holding the leg in position, owning every little bit of that movement. So you can have your hands with your fingers under into that small arch of the spine, just so that we have some awareness in keeping that stability in the core and not arching, or hands on the front of the body. Sometimes that just allows us to remember to keep the ribs together, the navel back to the spine. Okay, we have 1 more, and then we're going to roll up, spine stretch, roll back. And I give you options. We can go for a C curve if that's not happening. All right, just allow the hips and the legs to shimmy, shake out side to side. Arms reaching for your toes, chin to chest. Look at your toes. Peel the spine up to sitting. Deep breath in here, breath out, reaching for something beyond the toes. So I'm not collapsing here. Long spine, so it's my chest reaching for the knees. And then we make our way back. If you know that rolling back and up isn't for you, we take a little C curve here. Reset and come into the spine stretch. So find whatever's going to just give you a little bit of focus on the core. Slow, steady, controlled movement. So if, for example, that you feel this pulls on your neck, you can just go for a C curve, challenging yourself here, and then rebuilding. Whichever you do, just going for slow control, reaching. So lovely work for the back of the legs, this articulation through the spine. We're even massaging those muscles along the spine. Try and think 1 vertebra at a time. Always come to a nice position at the top before we go into the spine stretch. Last couple of sets. So we'll have 2 more rounds, and then we've got the Russian twist, which will be our last little bit of effort. But core strength and stability, we need the help of the oblique muscles, internal and external oblique muscles. So we'll give those a rattle as well before you can take a rest. So this is our last round. We roll up, don't worry if we've got time to catch up and meet. So the next time we roll up, we're going to bend the knees, feet flat to the floor. Okay, Russian twist. Let's start with forearms. Now, everything to keep the knees ankles hip distance apart. We're twisting. Doesn't matter if you reach the floor or not. It's the intention, the effort. Breathe in here, breathe out. Navel to spine, close the ribs. Look all the way around, twist. So you can lightly get a stretch in the arm here. So use the hand on the opposite forearm to lightly draw away. So nice stretch in the shoulder while we're going. So you'll have to keep switching hands if we're adding that element in. Sitting tall at the top in between each. Let's just check the jaws soft here. If we look over the shoulder, we'll get a nice little neck stretch there. So no forcing. For the last set, let's really try and turn all the way. Maybe as though your elbow is going to touch all the way behind you. And last side. Brilliant. We've earlier worked our triceps, so let's take the elbow to the ceiling and have a little bit of a side sway, stretching the lats, the triceps. And then the other arm. I know it's time, but we're just going to windscreen wiper the legs, because we may have a little bit of tightness now in those hip flexors that have been working so hard for us. Feet wide, drop the knees to one side and the other. If that's just not touching the sides, come onto your forearms and get a bigger twist in the spine here, lifting the hip to stretch the quads and the hip flexors. Side to side. We'll just roll the shoulders and that's it. Hold the shoulders, elbows together to the ceiling, and then open shoulders back and down. Rounding the back, opening the chest. Rounding the back and opening wide. Last time, and then you are free to go. Wonderful. Shrug out your shoulders, circle out your wrists, and there we go.